Thank you for joining me today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine. Today we are going to do a mat practice where we'll be doing some standing, sitting, and reclining poses. We're working this week with the solar plexus chakra, the third chakra, also called the Manipura Chakra, which is related to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this area of purpose, power, ego even, and I don't mean that with a negative connotation, but the third chakra, when it's blocked or overactive, can generate some anger within us. You can maybe use this awareness of this ability of the third chakra to be in anger, to maybe bring to mind a time when you were angry, maybe visualizing just maybe driving around a parking lot and trying to get a parking space and it's really, really full and you just found one and someone swoops in there and takes it before you can get there. And that might generate feelings of anger within you. And maybe revisit that scene and instead visualize yourself just dealing with it on a level of acceptance, knowing that there will be another space for you and maybe it will be a better, closer space. But instead of internalizing that anger, we can use the power of the third chakra, which is power itself, our own personal power, to change our perception and our reception of those kinds of incidences that will always happen in our life. And we can internalize that anger and turn it within us, and it can cause digestive issues, it can cause issues with your sleep and your just overall well-being. Or we can use our personal power, our sense of purpose, our sense of fire to change how we react to things. So maybe with that in mind today, as we are on the mat together, you might want to think of this third chakra as your place to choose, to act, to do, to respond in a way that is with intention, with positivity, with power, with dignity, and with an ability to just be open and be curious and be willing. This isn't necessarily, well, this is, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, related to your willpower. But maybe on a yogic tradition, it's more like related to your willingness power, your power to just be willing to see how you might have the power to change things for yourself in a positive way that allows you to grow and be more truly who you are. So let's meet on the mat in a standing mountain position. So now we're standing in mountain position on the mat. You can just notice the connection of your feet to the ground underneath you. Maybe rock a little forward and back. Maybe rock a little side to side, until you find that place where you feel centered, where it takes the least amount of effort to stand tall, to draw yourself up to your full height, however tall or short that might be. Keep a little gentle softness in the knees. Really press your toes and the balls of your feet and the sides of your feet and your heels firmly onto the mat. Lift the shoulders up and back and down to lift the heart, tuck the chin, draw the crown of the head towards the sky, and maybe allow the arms to open. If you like to challenge your balance here a little bit, you can close the eyes here, or you can keep the eyes open and find a focal point out in front of you to help support your balance. Notice the breath. The solar plexus chakra is right here, underneath the rib cage, above the belly button. It is associated with the element of fire, the color yellow, your own personal power, your ability to act and do, your willingness to be your own personal powerhouse. So as you inhale and exhale, just notice how you can expand the hands out from the belly and how the hands contract in towards the spine. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, contraction. Inhale to expand and be out in the world with your own personal power. Exhale to contract and draw inward to your own personal power. And let's go ahead and bring the hands to the hips. Step the feet out wide, maybe a couple, 3 feet, depending on how long your legs are. Be willing to adjust the placement of the feet. We're not locked in here. We're not locked in on the knees, that's for sure, so there's a little bend there, a little bit of softness. And let's go ahead, and if you have a block, have the block nearby. I'll demonstrate triangle pose, Trikonasana, both with and without the block. So have the block near your right foot and go ahead and turn the right toes out towards the short end of the mat. Have your left foot parallel with the back of the mat or even with the toes turned in just a little bit at like a 45-degree angle. Again, we're not locking the knees here, but we are keeping the legs straight. Let's go ahead and inhale and spread the arms out wide. Kind of, maybe if you've got a camera, you can see if you're level, like I do. And then look out over the right fingertips. Coming into triangle pose, we inhale here in center, and as you exhale, send the right fingertips forward even as the left hip comes back. And then begin to gently tilt downward, bringing your right fingertips to the shin or the back of the right hand to the inside of the knee, or you can bring your hand to a block in either its high, medium, or low position. As you can see, this is easiest for my body if I have it in the high position. If you're not using a block and you're just bringing the back of the hand to the inside of the leg, you can use this as more of a strengthening pose. Look up towards the left hand if that's comfortable for your neck. If not, take your gaze wherever it is comfortable for you. And really just be willing to soften through that left hip. Breathing here, rotating the heart up towards the sky, finding length all along the left side body. If this isn't comfortable for your arm, you could bring your hand to your left hip or your waistline. And then we're going to really focus on the solar plexus chakra by bringing the left hand either to your block or to the inside of the right calf and twisting back towards your right side. You can keep the right hand here on the waistline or on the hip, or if you like, you can reach it out towards the side or up towards the sky. Just experiment a little, find what feels best in your body, and then come back to triangle with the left hand on the hip. Inhale here, and as you exhale, really draw that solar plexus in towards the spine, and then inhale using that power to bring you back up to your full height. Let's go ahead and draw the toes forward once again. Move your block over to the left side if you have it available. And if you don't have a block but you do find that you want to bring the earth a little higher to you, you could use a stack of books, maybe a real thick pillow, a box, maybe from Amazon. I don't know how many Amazon boxes you have laying around, but I might be able to find one that I could just use for a block. Toes pointing forward, let's come into the superhero pose. Hands on the hips, heart lifted. Reestablish the connection with the breath. Triangle and revolve triangle can both be very challenging, especially if you're new to the pose or to the practice. So take a moment to reestablish the breath, reestablish your connection to your feet to the ground, the softness in the knees. And then let's turn those left toes out to the short end of the mat, keeping the right toes pointed outward or rotating them in just a little bit so that we're at a 45-degree angle, which will make it a little easier to rotate. Keep a little bend in those knees and then inhale the arms out wide. And as we exhale, we'll float those left fingertips forward and the right hip back, and then begin to tilt down into our triangle pose. Reaching up towards the sky, bringing the gaze to wherever is most comfortable on your neck. Bringing your hand to the shin or to the top of the thigh even. You might be up here, that's okay too. Bring the back of the hand to the inside of the calf or knee. Hand can be on the hip here or reaching up towards the sky, but we really want to rotate the heart upward. Or you can bring your hand to your block or your box, whatever you have nearby. Take a couple breaths here, noticing what you feel in that right hip. This is an awesome, awesome stretch for hips. Notice what you feel all along this side body. Inhale here, and as you exhale, float the right fingertips down, bringing it to your block or your box or your calf. And bring the left hand to the left hip or the waistline here. And again, you can explore a little bit to see what works best in your body, using a prop here for support, bringing the arm up towards the sky, keeping the arm down low, experimenting with your gaze, and then go ahead and rotate back towards the front, bringing the right hand to the hip. Inhale here, exhale to really tap into that power at your center. And then inhale to come back up to standing, bringing the toe tips forward. You can, if you have your block out in front of you, you can bring it to center. Come into your superhero pose. Reestablish that connection with the breath and with the earth beneath your feet. And the next time you inhale, let's hinge forward at the hips. Bring the hands to the block or to the earth or to the thighs or the calves or the shins, whatever feels most comfortable in your body, but keep that chin tucked. Draw the crown away from the tailbone. Take a couple breaths here. And then when you're ready, bring your hands to your hips or waist and inhale to draw back up to superhero pose with a flat back. Let's go ahead and come on down to our seat. Any way that works good for you. I always like to reach my hands up overhead and swan dive down into a forward fold. If that feels good for you, you might clasp your elbows a little bit and just kind of hang here like a rag doll. Bending the knees or straightening the legs. This feels good in your hamstrings. Maybe switch your clasp of your elbows so that it's kind of the weird, awkward way. Either that or you can come right on down to the mat. Coming first to hands and knees, and then finding your seat. So let's go ahead and do a little bit more twisting here. You can send the left leg out long, bend the right knee, and keep the sole of the right foot on the earth in front of you. Have a little bit of space in between your left leg and your right foot here, maybe like a fist width. Really hug that right knee in, draw yourself up to your full height, tuck the chin, draw the shoulder blades down the back, and reconnect with the solar plexus and the breath as it enters and leaves that area. go ahead and hook your hand or your elbow around your right knee, the left hand or elbow around the right knee, and inhale the right fingertips up towards the sky. And as you exhale, let the right hand float down towards the right hip and twist towards the right. Keep your left foot active, kind of flexing the foot to draw the toes up towards the sky. And maybe you might want to look back over that right shoulder. Fingertips or palm to the mat behind you. Really draw that right shoulder away. And maybe you might want to bring the elbow or the tricep to the top of the right knee and use that traction to really twist here. Again, keeping your awareness at the solar plexus area. Maybe saying an affirmation here. I am tapped into my own personal power. I act for my own good. Breathing here. Inhale, length. Exhale to soften into your twist. Inhale one last time, and as you exhale, go ahead and unwind. And then we'll switch sides. Sending the right leg out long, toes pointed up towards the sky, hugging the left knee in. Drawing yourself up to a seated mountain pose here with the chin tucked and the heart lifted and the shoulder blades down the back. Hook that right arm around the left knee. Inhale the left fingertips up towards the sky, and then exhale to draw the left palm or fingertips down towards the earth. Kind of a kickstand here as you draw that left shoulder back and maybe take your gaze out over the left shoulder. Breathe here, couple full breaths. Inhaling length in the spine, tucking the chin. And exhaling to either deepen or soften into that twist. Maybe you want to lift up that right arm and bring the tricep or the elbow to the top of the right knee, left knee. So you can really press that right tricep into the left leg here and get a little deeper into that right shoulder blade. Focusing the breath on the solar plexus area. One more full breath here. And the next time you exhale, go ahead and unwind. And then let's come to the top of the mat here, feet planted on the earth, knees pointed up towards the sky. Bring the hands to the backs of the thighs just underneath the knees. We'll inhale to find length. Again, finding mountain pose in every single pose we take, with the chin tucked and the shoulders down the back and the heart lifted and the spine long. Take a full inhale here, and as you exhale, tap into that solar plexus area. Use your internal personal power to bring one vertebrae and then the next down to the mat. Eventually, you might reach all the way down to the mat, or you might find a spot where that's enough. You gotta come and roll to the back. Go ahead and draw both knees up into the chest. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Maybe make some circles in the sky in one direction with both knees. And then maybe reversing the direction, keeping the awareness in the solar plexus area, focusing on the fire and the power within you. Hug those knees in once again, and then spread the arms out wide, palms facing up towards the sky. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, let's really draw that solar plexus in towards the spine. And then as you inhale again, take both knees over to the right, letting them come all the way down to the earth, keeping that left shoulder anchored. If this is not comfortable for you, or if you can't keep the left shoulder anchored here, you can bring a block underneath the knees or a pillow, a cushion, anything like that to rest them on. You don't want to overtax yourself, and you don't want to lift up here. Yoga can be many, many things, but our practice today is meant to help you focus on the power within your body. And everybody has different levels of what their bodies are capable of doing. I don't do handstands, but I've been practicing this pose for a long time, so I am pretty adept at it today anyway. Tomorrow might be different. So no judgment here, no competition. Make the pose fit your body. Don't force your body to fit the pose. But as we continue to breathe here, let's keep our awareness at the solar plexus. You can maybe gaze out over the left shoulder if that feels good in the neck. And the next time you exhale, reestablish that connection of the solar plexus to the spine. And then inhale the knees back up to the sky. That can be challenging too. Go ahead and hug the knees and draw the nose to the knees to reestablish that alignment of the spine and the neck and the hips. And then let's come back down to the mat, bringing the back of the head and the shoulders down, spreading the arms wide. Inhale here. And as you exhale, draw into your personal power. And then inhale the knees over to the left, keeping that right shoulder anchored, bringing the knees to the mat or to a block or to a pillow or cushion. Whatever helps this pose adapt to your body. Maybe gaze out over that right palm. Breathing into the solar plexus area, using your personal power, your willingness to just try new things. One more full breath here. Let's exhale to reestablish the connection of that third chakra. And then inhale the knees back up to the sky. Give yourself a big hug, drawing the nose to the knees, realigning everything here. And then bring the back of the head and the shoulders back down to the earth. Bring the palms to the knees and just inhale the knees away from you. And exhale to draw them inward. Getting a little bit of a massage across the low back here. Moving with the breath. Keeping the focus at the third chakra, keeping the chin tucked to keep the neck protected. And then let's let one foot and then the other come down to the mat. Heel toe your feet as wide as the mat, and let the knees fall in gently towards one another. And bring your hands back to the third chakra area. Hug those shoulder blades in toward one another, tuck the chin. Maybe push into the feet a little bit to lift the hips just enough to resettle the small of the back and the tailbone more firmly down to the earth. Breathe into your hands with the solar plexus. Maybe bringing to mind that fire burning within, that personal power. Affirming to yourself that you have the power to be there for yourself, to be there for others, to act with purpose, to just try. Sometimes we try and we fail. That's okay. Sometimes we try things and we decide we don't like them, we're not good at them, but at least we tried. And there's something to be proud of in that. And just bringing some effort, bringing some willingness. And then affirm with me, to yourself or out loud if that feels good to you. I am proud of myself. Proud to have found the time to do something good for my body, my mind, and my soul. Proud to be willing to try something new. Not having to change yourself, but being willing to upgrade. But not needing to upgrade, just being willing. Because you're perfect the way you are. Let's go ahead and inhale the legs and the arms out straight. Getting a nice, big, long, good morning stretch, stretching long through the left side body and stretching long through the right side body. And then bring the soles of the feet back to the earth and the hands back to the belly. And let's just windshield wiper the knees from side to side, maybe taking the gaze in the opposite direction here. Tapping back into that solar plexus area. And then roll to whatever side serves you best, using your bottom arm as a little pillow for your head and wrapping the top arm around the thighs, maybe keeping your eyes closed here if that feels good to you. Take a full breath here, knowing that you've done something good for yourself today. You did something, you acted. And let's push back up into a nice comfortable seat. Maybe cross-legged here. Maybe sitting on your heels in hero's pose. Let's draw back into our seated mountain. Heart lifted, crown to the sky, shoulder blades drawn back, tapping into that personal power center. Let's inhale the arms out wide and up alongside the ears, bringing the palms together and down to the heart. The fire within me honors the fire and the light within you. Namaste.